Okay, so this little rundown is to go through pH and acids and bases. So if you remember the pH scale, it ranged from 0 to 14 with 7 sitting in the middle. This is what we consider that pure water, and we said it was neutral. Anything that is to the left of the 7, we call that an acid. And the closer it got over to the side was a strong acid. And the closer it got over to the 14, it was a strong base. And I guess I should probably write down that these things are called bases. So as you got closer to the 7, you were weak. So as we go through acids and bases that you see on this scale, one thing we talked about is what type of ion they would have. So these are going to have hydrogen ions, H+. These are going to have hydroxide, OH-. We talk about what they taste like. So acids were sour, whereas bases were bitter. If you were using litmus paper to test for them, you would have the litmus paper turn red. So you would actually put in a blue strip and the blue would have the red bit. And then the bases, they would turn blue on the litmus paper. So you would have that red paper that you put in and it turned blue. Remember doing that in class. When you write a formula for it, you would have H something. And if it was a base, it would be something OH. So this one's going to start with an H. These are going to end with OH. So I talked about this litmus paper real fast. So those are those indicators that we talked about. So you have litmus paper, you have blue and red. So if you thought that you were testing an acid, you would put in the blue paper and hopefully you would get a red result, and that will let you know you had an acid. If you thought you had a base, you'd use a strip of red, and if it turned blue, it'd be a base. Okay. You had the pH paper. This was the paper that was sort of like the yellow in color, and it would turn the colors of the rainbow. So that was the one that we stuck down, and then we compared it to the scale that ranged 0 to 14, and it told you an exact number value, 0 to 14, what the actual pH was. And then the other thing we used as an indicator was phenolphthalein. This is the one that's going to turn pink in a base. So this is when we got done and we dropped the little clear liquid in and some of them turned bright pink. Okay, that let us know that it was a base because of the phenolphthalein. All right, so then the last thing we have to do with that is talk about what happens when you mix an acid and a base. So you get a neutralization reaction. So if I said an acid plus a base, it would make a water and a salt for me. So once again, acid started with an H, so H something plus something OH would give me water and salt. So this was an example. If I had this hydrochloric acid and this sodium hydroxide, I'd end up with water and table salt. And this is the one that we did where we sucked up some of the acid and we put it into one of those bright pink bases, and it ended up turning clear again, and that's because we created a water and a salt. Okay, you will have a little assignment to go along with this. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I've got to run because I had a child just wake up.